Hi, this is Dr. Steve Verrill. It is April 2010. The purpose of this video is aimed at the doctoral student that is thinking about the literature review of the dissertation. So that's chapter 2 if you're doing a 5-chapter dissertation. And there's also some implications for a literature review section if you're writing a scientific paper, let's say in a classroom. What I want to do here is explain 3 general concepts for this literature review section. So rather than talk about the exact headings or how you get the precise message across to your reader, I want to look at an overview of the 3 things that you're trying to accomplish here, at least in a general sense. So basically what you want to do in your literature review is you want to set out the extant body of science, that's E-X-T-A-N-T, for your reader so they understand the issues behind your substantive issue, your theoretical foundation, and your methodological approach. Now, in a simple sense, what you do is you read all the scholarly literature, everything that pertains to that, the journal articles, and then you relate a fair representation back to your reader. So you read everything, and then you give a fair representation in this chapter. Now, I like to think of it as focusing on 3 particular areas. Your substantive issue is that thing that interests you, the piece of research probably that you're most familiar with. The reason that you're doing the research is probably the thing that you know needs to be in a literature review. The other 2 might not be as clear to you, but this is the topic that you're turning into a problem and then a research question. So let's use police use of force as the thing that interests me. Let's use police abuse of force as my problem. So I read police use of force literature, and I want to relate to the reader what a fair representation of the status of the scientific body of knowledge is on police use of force, and police abuse of force in particular. So I'm going to present this overview of police use of force and then bring it into police abuse of force, and present exactly what we know and what we don't know in the scientific literature, and then I'm going to suggest what needs to be done to move this question forward a little bit. So that's the substantive issue. That's kind of what you're doing there. The other 2 things that you need to keep in mind is your theoretical foundation. There's going to be some sort of accepted explanations for your substantive issues in your literature. Sometimes what you do is you use theory as the main focus of your research, and you're going to test a certain aspect of the theory. Other times you're just relating how this explanation is used in the literature. So it used to be, for example, that police misconduct in the literature was talked about, but it wasn't really mentioned in a theoretical way. Then we started bringing theory into it, and then we can start bringing different types of misconduct into the forefront. So I might lay out an argument to test something related to police abuse of force, and I might want to use social learning theory, let's say, Akers social learning theory, to apply that. And because there hasn't been a lot of tests of that, I might actually do an exact test of the theory. That might be the research question that I'm proposing. Methodological considerations is the last major component that belongs in your literature review section. You need to show how your body of science looks at things methodologically. So, for example, testing police issues, I might use questionnaires. I might have a research design that is some sort of survey-based design. And one common way to do that is to look at these correlates as independent variables and see how they work together as a predictor of the dependent variable. That would be a multiple regression approach. And I want to show how the body of science is handling the particular question that I'm looking at. Now, that doesn't mean I have to do it the exact same way, but I'm situating my research into this body of science. So if I'm deviating from what the scholars there are expecting, I have to justify that and explain why. I still have to explain what I'm doing in great detail, even if I fit exactly what they're doing, because there's a lot of issues, a lot of nuances that go into how my research differs from the way it's previously been done. But if I'm going to do something really different, I also have to discuss that and explain that why. So basically I like to look at the literature review as the 3 main things that you want to give attention to is your substantive issue, your theoretical foundation or overview, and your methodological approach.